far anyway. You have some strong frontliners with very decent damage, so they have a good damage spread. All right, let's see if Entity 7 can play the map here, because team fighting might be difficult.
All right, 92% of you think Onic is going to take this one over Entity 7. Still think so after the draft? We'll find out who was right as we head over to our casters to kick off Game 1 of our third series of the day.
This third series is going to be real interesting. Looking at the way this draft is going to play out, it feels like there's answers on both sides. The real question and the real test is when they hit the land of Dawn. First interaction, how are they going to play this out nicely? Because the way that I see it, Chip has already figured out the starting point of the enemy jungler. The same can be said for Onic's side. And Entity 7, like Mirko said, it's that first portal that's going to make the difference.
Yeah, the Chip is in a... it's just in a weird place right now, I feel like. I almost thought they'd just go with the Belric. That's not the case, but, you know, whoa, already taking a lot of damage early on. Oh, the flicker used from Sands. First blood already going to Onic to start things off.
Oh man, that was a mistake for sure. Again, they're just forgetting that Eudora, especially with Superconductor, has reduced Fork Lightning cooldowns, especially when it is empowered here by the same marked target. However, same problems are still gonna last. At least Shin didn't lose too much in his lane, but the rest of them, right? Now they have the information. Kyrie is having the time of his life stealing away camps.
Yeah, this is something that they can continue to do. Going back on the Chip pick, we'll have to see if they can utilize this. The shortcuts, the portals, like you mentioned. Again, you don't see him picked up too often. It's him and usually the Lou Yi that can play that macro level kind of style of gameplay. And Chip, if utilized correctly, can do a whole lot here. But with a Marcel in this setup in the mid lane, that's what they're going to go for anyway. Sans, there's some revenge. Bagwin also able to get a kill now for himself. So, hey, good for Entity 7 to get things going.
Really good. And more importantly, this is the fact that Bush understands that, hey, despite not being level 4, it doesn't mean that I can't actually kill you in the lane if I catch you off guard. Especially since Sans very visibly used this flicker in the lane. Now, Kelra kind of out of the fight for now, but he wasn't going to participate in the upcoming turtle anyways.
Yeah, this is one of the things, too. The Granger only picked a couple times so far, you know, and this is going to the hands of Kelra. Obviously, very comfortable on this hero, can make it work, but, you know, I think that's the main thing, too. You know, the decision between who gets the Sky Piercer, most likely, as the panel mentioned, Hirara here, you know, you got to protect still Kelra on the Granger. He's got the range to work with, and yeah, I kind of agreed, maybe a little bit stronger of an audio attacker here, where he's got to rely on the Rhapsody shots, but it's all about positioning, and we've seen it before from Kelra. First turtle up, though, that's already going to get started down. RW drop down, loot be gone, and now Akashi going to get shredded through here, so a bit of a trade. Turtle still up, Keyboy almost level 4, will have that golden hour available now. They can play around this sense, going forward with a flicker. There's the damage we were looking for again, as Kyrie picks up a kill for himself.
Great coordination from the mid trio here, great showing, and more importantly, they understand that Bagwin, he's about to get level 4, so there's no point risking it, even though Kyrie does have a level lead on to Bush. At this stage of the game, right, we're thinking about lane advantages, and from top side, we're probably not going to see much go on. It's a sandbag on that side. Kelra, he's got to be really careful. As long as that flicker is down, if he pushes himself too far forward, if Doom gets a Zaman Force directly on top of him, he can kill him in that lane, so he's got to be careful for that.
What I want to see from Entity 7 here is just playing around their strengths, which is really, you know, real-world manipulation. We've seen this so much with the Eve pickups. Kyrie sees, he's like, hide on bush, I see you in that bush, I'm going to go for this anyway. A lot of damage coming through. Alley-ooping it over to Sans as he's able to cap off the kill. Get out of my jungle, says Kyrie.
Yeah, the problem is that once you see the stun be thrown out, he has no way to kind of, you know, close the get out with any iframes at that point. Kelra now getting an early Sky Piercer is great. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to participate in the very first fight here. Because so far, Sans has kind of given the layup over to Kyrie. At some point, it's got to go over to Kelra.
Yeah, eventually, but the strengths, man, and this is why the Eudora is so just a top priority pick right now. You're seeing it in action in the early game to be able to set things up in this manner and also kind of supplement a jungler like the Hirara in the hands of Kyrie is something that you can make work so well from the early game all the way to the late game. And now this turtle finally going to be started up here. It's been delayed pretty much out. They're going to go for another kill. Akashi once again shredded through. A golden hour is going to drop down. Now Kelra's a part of the fight. He wants to get the stacks he's looking for. Doom's got to defensively Zaman Force out. There's another kill for Onic. and they'll finally make their way for this turtle here. Shin's got no option but to back off. There is a push in the mid, though, at least for something for Entity 7.
How much damage did he actually get onto that mid-tier 1? No, just the plating. The plating is good enough. That's still a little bit of money. He's going to lose a decent amount in his own jungle as Kelra decides, you know what? I ain't wasting no time whatsoever. Give me the gold on that top side before the shielding times out.
You're seeing it right there, Gideon. That's just how scary that amount of damage can be, that a flicker is burned out from Shin. Just because, again, that snapshot, that interaction with the stun, and as they go into the jungle again, E7, no room to breathe, even on their own side, as Kelra will pick up another stack.
There's just so much CC to deal with, and nobody can really stop Keyboy from what he's doing. He's able to run through every single member of the side of E7, and until we see a full commitment, there's just no point. And now they're losing mid-tier 1, which is a pivotal point in the map.
Golden hour, drop down, Kelra lining up the shots, and it's right lined up for Shin, and now in the mid lane, Daytona's welcome into the team. They landed on through, Luffy's gone, but E7 looking to fight back down, running it for Sands. He's gonna have to burn the flicker, the re-engage comes through, snapshots are there. Oh, Bagwin, 1 HP, he'll get back to base. Could have been way worse for Entity 7 there.
Way worse, for sure. But man, let's look at the goal difference here, because somehow Kelra has been more effective in these team fights in comparison to Doom, who's been struggling again because of that golden hour. Let's look at this replay one more time, right? Golden hour catches onto 2 members. They line up the shots perfectly, but by the time Akashi actually gets into the middle of this fight, they kind of don't have enough damage, right? You can see that Doom, unfortunately, tries to get this kill onto Keyboard, but they still have plenty of battle spells. So the innate impact that we see from Onic is just too much to handle, and Doom ain't gonna waste a free Purify just to get out of a golden hour or walk around it.
Yeah, for E7, they want to go ahead and start letting, Doom scale up. This is what we see with Harith, right? Eventually, you're able to do a whole lot with that Zaman Force. They just really haven't been able to have that upper hand fight against, this lineup that Onic has. A big component to that, again, the golden hour. I'm surprised, Marcel, we haven't seen him pop up as much, especially back, wildcard and then even in MWI. And it's like, he's still so useful with that golden hour alone. But even Chip can do something similar. A little bit of stun here on Keyboy. This fight for this turtle, though, let's see if anyone's actually able to secure it. Hidon Bush will just now pick up that Sky Piercer, though.
I'm not sure if that's even going to get any value this time around. Considering what's about to happen, Hidon Bush gets caught out just like that. I mean, these interceptions, they can't... Wait, hold on.
Oh, they're just going for it. Another stack for Kelra. Akashi could be next. Infernal Pursuit, but there's a double now for this Granger for Kelra. Stacks on stacks, and that's going to be a turret. And just another objective.
That's a huge miscommunication for the side of Entity 7. Onic now going to take full advantage of this as Kelra now leading the charge by himself with the rest of his team to say, you know what? We're going to take everything. What are you going to do? Chase us? Doom trying, but he's not going to catch up to Keyboy anytime soon.
Yeah, you're not going to catch a Marcel like that, So, yeah, I don't know. That was clearly a mistake, a misstep there for E7 to be on that side, to lose their jungler, but the punishment also is just more turrets, more space. Even in that replay, it just happens so quickly, and then you get collapsed on. And if you line yourselves up like this for E7, you're trying to keep things from getting too worse. It's just, Onic does such a great job at giving those stacks over to Kelra, too. They know that that's a big part of these team fights now. I mean, look at the health bars. They're just dropping as they try to get to the base. They try to get away, but Bagwin's down, and now Akashi gets blown up as well from the shots from Kelra.
He didn't want to use his flicker either. Again, I feel like E7, they understand that their battle spells are like so key to their composition, but at the same time, they're not using it to save themselves. Now we have a 13-3 lead, a 5.7k lead at 8 minutes into the game, which is not, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty devastating on top of the fact that Kelra is almost max stacks at this stage of the game on his Sky Piercer.
Yeah. Keyboy and Sans both just doing an amazing job throughout this game too to set things up. Look at the difference here now in the mid lane. They're actually able to get Ludwig, Keyboy, and Sans. Do they want to fight this? I know they got Kelra there, but still, you don't want to get overzealous and get punished here. You got a 6,000 gold lead if you're Onic. You want to keep that together for this Lord here in about 30.
First items priority. I like how Ludwig is like, no, I'm not going to think about sustain whatsoever. All I'm thinking about is maintaining my stacks, get me a Guardian helmet, and I'll make something happen. He is a thick boy for a good reason, but also such a huge deterrent for E7. Like, what are they going to do as soon as he starts charging up the Daytona's welcome, right? On the opposite side, I do want to see whether or not E7, specifically Bagian, he needs to get a backline attack onto Kelra.
Yeah, I feel like he's been trying, you know, like he's been trying to find that positioning, but there just hasn't been that opening that they're looking for. And now at this point, it looks like E7's just gonna have to give this Lord over to Onic, let them do their things. Akashi's gonna give the information. There's quite a few here. They're trying to push up top too, but Lord already secured by Kyrie. Bagian gone. I mean, this is just not where you want to be, and now Daytona's welcome to keep Akashi in place, lining it up again for Kelra to get a double again. And E7, it's looking really dire here in game one.
I think this game is almost over. Onic is in a point where their snowball is a little too big, and they're purposely delaying hide on Bush. He will not be able to get with the rest of his team, and now his death timer is staggered.
Yep. Already base turret's going to be worked on. Doom trying to drop it down with his Amen Force, but still just delaying possibly the inevitable here. Almost a 9,000 gold lead as Lord is going to approach this mid turret. The defense shield's still going to pop, but the Lord is still up, and now the pressure's here. 15 still, 4 hide on Bush to be up. They're going to drop it down once again. Loot B, Daytona's welcome. Throw him into the wall. Kyrie, meanwhile, on the other side's working. Burns a flicker out. Akashi, no chance. And now looking to take out Doom as well. He's trying to avoid the shots from Kelra, but he can't avoid Kyrie. And they're looking for more. Finally, Kelra goes down, but Kyrie's here as well. It's a different KK connection. It's a maniac for Kyrie. And that's all Onic needed in this game one. Under 12 minutes, they'll cap out game one against Entity 7.
21-6 the final score, and they're gonna farm one more before they close out the very first match. Egos were tested this time round.
Dan tentunya Lim.
Ya.
Ya sorry Superstar, terlalu silau jadi kita sampai nggak kelihatan. Untuk the Superstar, the one and only Nevin Netania.
Gue takut kalau ngomong bahaya gitu.
Jangan
Kesian lu.
Jangan.
Oke, tapi game kedua ya dari draft sebenarnya komplit buset.
Oke.
Udah tempur nih.
Agresif banget Lim. Gila, belum ada apa-apa langsung udah ngeluarin Revitalize di sana. Draftnya sangat bagus Lim.
Ya tapi Lilia sih benar.
Di early memang memberikan impact terhadap pressure ya. Draft bagus.
Betul. Dia nggak boleh sampai rugi ya, bisa dibilang nggak boleh sampai hilangin tekanan di awalnya. Walaupun dia bawa jungle yang sama-sama assassin deh ya. Harley versus Hirara. Kena stun langsung.
Oke, tapi nampaknya di sana Shin bakal terkena first blood. Instant kill damage walaupun sudah mengeluarkan flicker. Tapi itu dia Keyboy dengan early pressure berhasil mendapatkan point kill untuk para pasukan dari tim Onic dan Entity 7. Bakal coba di pressure terhadap Bush di jungle mereka. Penguin di sini berhasil digocek oleh Keyboy, masuk lebih dalam dan Retribution! Berhasil mendapatkan satu satu Ores, tapi double kill yang mahal ini di tangan dari Keyboy.
Iya. Itu hal yang paling nggak menyenangkan untuk Entity. Dia lihat lava golemnya ditarik ke rumput, tapi dia nggak bisa berbuat apa-apa.
Iya.
Karena dia lawan cowok di awal, damage-nya nggak bakal ketutup. Plus mereka bawa assassin belum level 4, belum
Nggak bisa apa-apa
juga.
Keyboy emang kacau ya.
Itu dia, ini salah satu hero power juga lagi.
Iya kan?
Iya.
Keyboy kacau bukan?
Bukan.
Lu salahin dulu dong.
Salah.
Oke kalau gitu ya.
Y-nya yang sih.
Oh iya, salah juga. Oh my god.
Keculik kah?
Sans out of nowhere dia keculik. Tidak berada di kamera, tapi Doom one by one situation dengan ada Kelra. Jangan lupakan dari Tahun Memory di level 4 bisa menumbangkan sosok dari Doom. Kayaknya mungkin bermain dengan safe untuk Doom ini lebih aman ya Lim dengan Art of Thievery-nya.
Setuju. Cuma memang landing sama Brody itu susah, dia strong lane. Mungkin kalau clean gitu masih bisa sama-sama ngelawan ya. Tapi kayak Hero Trinity yang butuh farming di awal, kayaknya harus sabar dulu deh. Atau level 4 lah nanti setidaknya pas punya ulti. Turtle nggak bakal dilamain, ini bakal langsung di set up aja walaupun Hiraranya belum ready.
Gak ada urusan langsung setup aja, yang penting dapetin satu buat turtle, dia langsung bisa rotasi. Tapi di sini Keyboy sudah level 4 dan bisa nge-kick siapapun dengan posisi hanya satu purify.
Oke. Lihat jungle-nya di-invade sama Keyboy sendiri loh. Yang ngejaga 3 mau nggak mau. Head on Bush aja kesulitan nih mau ngambil buff-nya sendiri. Tapi ada pencurian ya.
Ya tapi ini adalah salah satu momen yang berbahaya. Kenapa berbahaya Lim? Harusnya ini ada di fase Harley invasi jungle atau rotasi Harley power.
Iya.
Tapi semuanya putus asal-asalan. berkat permainan invasi jungle dari Kiboy.
Ya.
This is your boy.
Ma boy. Ya. Tapi tetap sih dapetin purple juga menjadi poin penting.
Oh, the way of dragon! Surprise! Happy birthday! Lihat di sana berhasil mendapatkan Shin. Berhasil mendapatkan orange buff. Invasi jungle gila-gilaan. Kairi level 8. Hide on boost level 4. Oh no, my god!
Wait, itu masih 3 loh.
My god, ini benar-benar tukang somai kecebur god. Oh my god!
Wow, ini under level paling jauh sih yang pernah gue lihat. Marksman, gold laner level 3 dan ditabrak lagi.
Oke, bahkan Kiboy masih ada satu stun di depan sana. Bahkan Kiboy bisa melakukan solo kill terhadap Doom. Ingat pasifnya nyala, Lim. Pasifnya nyala. Dan lihat siapa yang mencoba untuk memberikan sedikit pressure. Doom, the wave dragon, wave flicker ke arah yang salah. Menuju ke arah Shin. Tapi nampaknya tetap harus ter-take down. Kelra berhasil melakukan 1 poin kill Kiboy. Kali ini berhasil memastikan kalau poin killnya di tangan dari gold lanernya.
Itu dia. Mungkin bukan salah, tapi target yang mau lebih. Karena kelihatan ya dari darah dari Doom-nya udah nggak bisa selamat. Posisinya juga udah bener-bener stuck di sana. Tanpa harus Wave Dragon itu udah bisa dapetin poin kill. Dan Kiboy percaya itu.
Kalau yang gue lihat itu dia lebih ngasih Doom-nya ini ke poin kill ke gold lane berarti tadi.
Iya, yang dia mau lebih intinya. Tapi bayangkan dia level 4 di menit 4 sih. Nah, Wave Dragon dipinggirin karena ya Doom-nya udah pasti tumbang lah. Katakan Doom tumbang, dia mau ngambil scene-nya juga. Dan ini jadi keuntungan berganda nih.
Dan Kiboy dari dulu cowoknya dari dia hadir ke scene MPL Indonesia. Ini cowoknya mengerikan sekali dia. Dan lihat di depan sana Kiboy memberikan pressure dan salah stun dari Shin. Tidak menghentikan Kiboy. Lihat gak?
Bisa dodge emang, pakai shift kan.
Dan bahkan Shin harus mengeluarkan flickernya. Ini pressure cowok kayak gini. Ada baiknya memang. Ada baiknya harus ditumbangin sekali di shutdown sih. Tapi untuk numbangin Kiboy butuh 5 orang, Lim.
Kayaknya 5 orang dan itu space yang bakal gila banget. Kairi level 10. Wow, ini
Kiboy sih ngeri banget ya.
asli ini game pembantaian sih.
Iya, pembantaian benar.
5.000 gold di menit 5, hampir 6.000. Kairi yang pegang Sky Pierce. Gue pikir bakal Kelra tadi, tapi mungkin mobilitas Kairi yang lebih cepat. Bisa diutamain dulu ya dari segi point kill.
Doom level 5, lihat Kiboy level 6. Dan lihat depan sana Akashi, Duel of Dragon bakal dikeluarin oleh Kiboy. Fokus mendapatkan 1 point kill dan itu dia Kiboy. This is your boy. Again and again, Retribution menuju ke arah Shin yang tidak memiliki flicker tapi tidak tergapai. Tapi nampaknya ada 1 point kill yang berhasil didapatkan oleh para pasukan dari tim Onic. Sudah cukup terhadap Akashi.
Purify lagi terbuka.
Masih mau lebih. Masih mau lebih. Kairi di depan sana mau dapetin 1 point kill dan turnamen memory. Berhasil menghilangkan semua ingatan dari sana Fake Queen. Triple stun dari Shin. Memang ada notifikasi crowd control, tapi itu tidak membuat para pasukan dari tim Onic tergeletak, Lim, nampaknya.
Betul sekali. Genesis One baru jadi dari hard on bush. Sementara melihat inner turret bawah yang udah langsung dieksekusi, ini bisa dihancurin loh sebenarnya kalau mereka mau.
Yes.
Walaupun resikonya tinggi. Udah datang semua nih, berkumpul semua teman-teman entity untuk ke defense di bagian bawah.
5 menit 6. Goldnya untung 8.000 gold. Perbandingannya berapa tuh, Lim?
Itu lebih 1.000 lebih itu.
Lebih?
Jauh sih.
1.000 lebih itu 1.500 ada lah.
1.100 lebih dong.
1.100 ya?
Kejauhan sih 1.500.
Sorry, matematika gue remet.
Tapi bukan masalah dari goldnya doang, Ji. Lihat levelnya Doom. Level 6.
Kalah sama Kiboy.
Iya, sisanya juga masih level 7.
Yes.
Hide on boost level 8, Kairi level 12. 4 level, bos.
Aduh, Retri sih ngantuk ya.
Kalau dia berani adu retri, pertanyaan gue kenapa bisa berani, Ji? Itu dulu.
Oke. Tapi kali ini lihat Kiboy.
Oh, dia turtle tetap
Sendirian. Gak peduli mau 2 orang, 3 orang yang jagain dia. Selama ada Kiboy di sana memberikan vision yang cukup jelas untuk Kairi dapetin turtle. Snowball in the way of Dragon bakal coba ditutup oleh Kelra dan suara Torpa Memory. Flicker for defensive dikeluarkan, tapi Doom kali ini memilih untuk mundur ke arah belakang. Kiboy masih mau lebih. Dan Fine Queen kali ini gak bisa bertahan dari damage yang terlalu besar dari seorang Kelra.
2 jadi korban. Ini turret di bagian tengah juga bakal diambil. Gue pikir tadi mau dijadiin
Lutfi cutting minion terlebih dahulu. Lutfi tahu belum ada bisa numpang dia. Gak ada anti regen, lihat Lim. Gak ada hati yang patah di sini.
Betul.
Dan membuat Lutfi akan memotong 2 lane. Mid and top lane. Wow, astaga Lutfi.
Ini taman bermain Onic sepertinya. Masih bisa keluar dengan full HP juga. Masih aman banget. Kyrie-nya aja nih sekarang lagi ngambil jungle, itu nyibukin diri doang Ji sebenarnya.
Iya. Biar
Bawahnya
gak gabut-gabut amat main jempolnya ya.
Iya, tengah udah nggak ada holy defense.
Tutup lagi, 2 wave lagi, Lutfi. Astaga, Lutfi. Ini bener-bener membuat kacau Entity Seven. Dia nggak bisa keluar dari kandangnya. Dan membiarkan seluruh wave dari Onic tetap bertumbuh di 2 lane yang berbeda.
Wah gila nih Ji, lu lihat goldnya Cloud.
Lihat.
Belum jadi item pertama Ji.
Akhirnya ada hati yang patah di situ, Lim.
Iya, udah jadi. Dan DHS-nya baru jadi. Itu item
Iya.
pertama loh.
Item pertama di menit 8 itu udah bener-bener kesulitan banget. Avatar Guardian ke depan. Menutup jalan dari Penguin. Really, Penguin berhasil mendapatkan 1 more point kill. Dan tahun depan Memory. Kali ini berhasil mendapatkan 1 more point kill. Dari Lutfi, sang eksekutor. Dengan badan yang tidak bisa ditembus. Onic. Wah gila.
Ini paling jauh sih, 13.000 gold di menit 9 on the way.
Sejauh ini yang paling jauh. Tapi Lutfi akhirnya kena petir. Dipanis. Tapi itu nggak berimpact apapun sebenarnya, Lim.
Iya. Walaupun memang goldnya turun 1000 Ji ya. Ngelihat dari kondisinya sekarang boleh reset dulu dari Onic. Mundur dulu, Lord dulu. Karena pasifnya udah nggak ada dari besar. Menit 9 loh. Ini menit 9 Ji.
Kiboy level 10, Akashi level 10, EXP laner. Wah, EXP laner, Lim. Catat.
Iya, tadi semenjak item pertama di menit ke-8 baru jadi Cloud-nya Ji.
Iya.
Gue ngelihat kayak momen mereka nih untuk ngebalikin tuh butuh waktu yang ekstrim banget sih.
Butuh lebih di atas 15 menit sih, Lim.
Emang dikasih sama Onic Ji?
Itu pertanda yang seharusnya kita tidak lihat ada tanda-tanda itu. Karena mereka lihat tidak ada holy defense, mereka dapetin Lord instan dan mau kontes sekalipun menurut gua nggak worth it sih. Dan lihat Kiboy udah memberikan Council Gaming menuju ke arah belakang, 2 F3 menuju ke arah Penguin karena damage-nya sudah cukup. Tahun dapat Memory belum dikeluarkan dan Lutfi mengawal dari belakang, mencoba untuk membawa permasukan dari tim Entity Seven untuk tidak bisa pulang.
Lordnya di reset dulu tadi ya. Commit satu suara. Itu dia yang gue suka dari Onic. Karena ketika mereka pengen kill, Lordnya dilepas, bener-bener dilepas.
Betul sekali.
Mereka langsung kejar orangnya dulu, tapi sekarang emang udah nggak bagus lagi untuk kontes sih. Entity Seven, mereka harus pasrah dulu untuk Lord yang pertama untuk Onic.
Dan gue suka dengan permainan dari Kiboy. Oh ini Chow, kalau punya roam, Chow-nya kayak gini. Ini idola semua orang sih.
Wah,
Hah?
iyalah jelas lah. Di
Gila.
roamin cowoknya Kibo itu kayak gak ngapa-ngapain aja menang nih.
Di roamingin Kiboy, ini easy game kalau di ranked.
Betul.
Yang kadang-kadang ranked harusnya easy game jadi hard game.
Nah, gara-gara cowok Kibo jadi beneran easy game.
Beneran easy game.
Oke, Lord ke arah tengah. 13.000 menuju 14.000 gold. Ini angkanya menurut gue nggak bisa dikejar dengan 1 kali wipe out, Ji.
Nggak bisa.
1 kali wipe out pun mungkin karena shutdown bisa jadi turun goldnya ke 9.000, 8.000 mungkin.
8.000 oke.
Bisa jadi,
8.000
tapi
masih dapat.
kalau nggak shutdown gimana nih, Ji? Karena
Oke.
Onic siap untuk nabrak.
Menuju ke arah Besar dengan Lord yang sudah melakukan charge menuju ke arah mid lane. 2 base bakal di target utama. Mereka berhasil melakukan Shin. Sebagai high ground yang tidak memiliki damage yang cukup untuk Entity Seven, mereka base terbuka. Avatar Guardian bakal coba ditutup jalannya. Dengan ada Kill Radu bersama dengan Kiboy. Menutup the way of Dragon kali ini. Depan permasukan dari tim Entity Seven. Mereka diacak-acak, diratakan, dan ini pembantaian.
Jelas.